Panic at the Disco, episode 19.
Cringe.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Boom, 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 boom,
You
boom.
shut the fuck up. Trying to record a podcast here.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time you're watching this, wherever you are, whenever you are. We are Antidote To Chaos.
Whatever.
I'm Josh. I didn't realise you were so
Shakira.
loud until you locked out just before we started recording.
This is 4 Guys, 1 Album, episode 19.
Damn.
19 of these.
We've done 19 episodes.
Nobody likes you.
It's
when you're-
we've done 19
shit.
too many.
19.
We should have stopped at Bill Murray. That should have been the sign.
We should have stopped at Nightwish when we had engagement.
Oh.
Nightwish
Right.
fans, if you are watching,
Please come back.
Please
come back. Please come back and comment on these other trash albums.
If you're watching this, give it a like, give it a comment.
subscribe.
If you don't know what to comment, well, we're about to give you a question to comment.
Oh.
This
Give
is
me
our
some
question
hot-
of the week.
Bit of spice, bit of seasoning in the episode.
And what?
Sherry on top.
What, you Gordon Ramsay?
Service, yeah? On the pass. It's fucking raw! Right, anyway, what's the question?
Oh, he's got
We're watching too much Hell's Kitchen, mate, honestly. Don't get me started.
Fucking love Hell's Kitchen.
That's just the favourite. I know we've got a question today, but the best part of Hell's Kitchen now, he calls every guy that's slightly chubby. He's like, "All right, big boy, yeah, on the pass, yeah."
To be fair, that is my version of, you know how people watch like shit TV and they say, "Oh, it's just something to switch my brain
Oh,
off."
I do it with Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen
I've only
is
just
mine.
started doing it, but it's fucking
It's
quality.
so good. You can binge
You just be
watch
like
that.
working, and then you just hear, "You fucking donkey!"
Just instantly, if you've had a bad day, just stick on some Hell's Kitchen. You can be like, "My boss is it's not as bad as Gordon Ramsay."
It could be
fine.
worse.
Could be worse. Life
Right,
could
anyway.
be worse.
What's
The
the
question of the day today is quite conveniently, if we could only could live with one, and that's it, would we rather live with ale or flannel?
Wow.
I mean, if only
Well,
there
that's
was,
convenient.
if
'Cause
only there was
we're all-
something to
I
tell.
wonder-
If you like,
I
We're
wonder-
all wearing flannels.
It's like this
What
was
about that?
preconceived.
It's almost as if we actually planned this.
Ah, that's impossible.
we could never do that. It was a
Never.
spontaneous question.
we're too.
But I mean, surely they can just go. They just go hand in hand. You can't wear flannel without drinking ale, and you
I
can't
feel-
drink ale without wearing
wearing
flannel.
I mean, I can't drink ale, so that's...
So therefore, this has to come off because if you can't drink ale, then you can't wear flannel.
Well, I'm wearing it.
Oh, he's broken the
Where's-
rules.
The rules. The second.
The rules.
But no,
What about
this is
cider?
serious.
What are the rules?
But this is serious though. So obviously Josh can't drink ale.
So I'm celiac. I'm allergic to gluten. If you didn't know.
Not like we've made jokes about
You
it
feel like
for like
2
19
years.
episodes.
But like, so well, you obviously you're like a big cider man then. So you could probably say flannel or cider.
Cider and a flannel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
granted,
It's like a peak combo.
yeah.
But then you don't really. You drink cider in the summer, right? And flannel isn't really a summer unless it's
Are
a
you
short
sure
sleeve
about that?
flannel. Because I've got some short sleeve flannels.
No,
I mean-
I think you can long sleeve flannel in summer. You know. I think
I'm
you
a
can roll
long
the
sleeve
sleeves
guy,
up.
always.
Roll the sleeves
Even in
up.
summer.
sleeve.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I never wear shorts as well.
Ooh.
Oh mate, honestly,
Yeah,
the past few weeks have been so hot. I've literally only worn shorts.
No, I
I
only
don't know
wear.
what it is, but
I
shit legs
only
and
wear
still
shorts if it's absolutely necessary, and
I like that. I'm like you on that then. Yeah. It's like-
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, as soon as I get a chance
the
to wear
last-
shorts,
the last year or two, I really grew into long sleeve t-shirts.
They're really
Oh,
nice.
I've grown-
it's
I like
so nice.
long sleeve shirts.
Do you know what it
are
is? I
very
feel like
nice.
if you're used to it, you're climatized to it. So like, all right, like don't forget, I've had long hair. Like obviously you've got long hair now, so obviously the sun's coming back out. It's gonna get to a
fucking
point where
horrible.
you're gonna be like, but you're gonna be like, oh, I'm kind of fine with it.
I don't know.
Like,
I
it's the
hate
same for-
hate being warm though, and like if I can wear shorts and be less cold,
Oh, it's
and
much
less
easier
warm,
to
I'm
warm
just gonna,
up than cool down. Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear shorts if I can. Like
I just
I hate being. I'd rather be too cold than too hot.
Yeah, that's very
Too
true.
hot's just fucking horrible because you like take all of your clothes off and you're like, I'm trying to take my fucking skin off. I need another layer. I can't take it off.
When it's too cold, you can layer up, you can move about, you can do stuff. If it's too hot, you're fucked.
You're
There's
fucked.
nothing.
That's it.
There is
The
nothing
thing is,
you can do.
houses in the UK are built to hold heat.
Yeah.
So like in hotter countries, they have air conditioning and the houses are built to not hold heat.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
meant to
here,
just flow out.
we just consume heat and keep it in. And in the summer, I'm just there like sweating my tits off. I mean, look how white I am. Like, come on. I'm not built for this. I'm dying. Every summer it's the same. Hay fever and heat.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh,
We're segueing out, but hay
pollen.
fever. Oh.
So all 3 months of my life.
This is quite
My life
Fuck
was
interesting.
for a
gluten
year.
and fuck pollen.
But this is quite interesting
Amen
though,
to
because
that.
I've known like loads of people with hay fever, and then some people I know from hay fever are not from the UK as well. I mean, Josh, you might be able to vouch for this as well, but I guess it depends on how bad your hay fever is. But let's say when you were in Australia and it's all hot and everything, did you ever have problems
I
with
don't know.
hay fever then?
I've only really had it in the last few years.
Because that's the same thing people who are not originally from the UK say. They're like, oh, it was fine, but as soon as I moved to the UK, when it's summer,
It'll be like the types of trees we have here, surely.
Well, it's not even when
aggressive trees.
not even when I moved back to the UK like 10 years ago. It's more like the last year or two.
It's crazy though. People like, because I'm there like ruined by hay fever, you know, and they're like, oh, same. But I never used to get it before I was in the UK, and I'm like, pardon. Because I'm there thinking it's just, oh, I've got a genuine, that's it, I'm screwed for life. But actually, no, Kieran, if you move country, you can actually enjoy your summer for once.
But then, if you moved country, your ale would be worse.
Oh.
So then you would only have flannel and no ale. So yeah, you have
Unless-
just
Depends where
answered
you
your
move to.
question.
Unless you go into India.
Or Germany.
Indian pale ale.
Germany's,
Indian
their
pale.
ale and beer is mint there. Belgium,
pretty
actually,
sure-
I kind of just have fucked my point up there. There's so many countries with beer that's...
Exactly. Yeah, whichever beer you like, just go to the roots where it originated.
So let us know,
yeah.
ale or flannel.
But
in
we
the
haven't
comments.
actually said though.
Yeah,
we
haven't
either have
answered.
ale
We're
or
trying to
flannel.
skirt around
If
it.
I had to
we're
pick
skirting around
one,
it.
Oh, I don't know, because I'm going to say one, and then everyone is going to be like, no, Jack, you don't want that one. So I'm going to say ale. But I know that I'm gonna get 10 messages in about an hour's time being like, Jack, you fucking love flannel, mate. Why are you dropping flannel? But I love ale as well. I can't pick.
I feel like you could drop flannel easier than ale.
I've already answered it basically. I've got to say flannel.
Honestly, I love ale. I love ale too much. Sorry, flannel.
Ale for me too. I would give up. I would happily burn my Brewdog flannel shirt.
Don't say it. Don't even joke about it.
Jeez.
Why have you joked
for
about
ale.
What
Like
sacrilege.
exactly.
You could wear.
Burning a
There's
sacred
other
relic.
fashions that go with flannel, like corduroy. And there's other flannel. There's other fashions.
I
that
would
work
say there's
with
other
flannel.
fashions what go with drinking ale.
That's what I meant.
Oh, is that what you meant? That's what you meant.
I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant. Like, you can wear other stuff and still people would be
If
like,
you
oh, I bet
wore-
he drinks ale.
If you wore like probably like a rugged long sleeve top and then maybe like some kind of like brown kind of like rustic coat and you drink ale, like blue jeans, maybe like brown boots as well, looking rustic as hell, you drinking ale, I'd be like,
Yeah, it looks like a man that drinks ale.
looks like a man that drinks ale.
Exactly.
that.
So it's not
Drinking
just
ale.
flannel. Well, there we go.
So let us know your thoughts. What would you rather have in the comments? And go follow us on Instagram. Let us know there as well.
On a quick segue on that though, I'm a bit curious now. What do Guinness drinkers wear?
Well, I drink Guinness.
I know you do, but like
so...
it's not flannel. I know it's not
I
flannel.
don't think.
I don't
flannel-
know,
I feel like
maybe they just
flannel's
wear-
too young for Guinness drinkers. I feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm being
Check
like
how old are you?
I'm 22.
Oof.
But it's weird. I drank Guinness before I drank lager. Because it was
Oh,
smoother.
you were stout
so
before lager. That's
yeah, because it was
Never heard that one
smoother.
before,
I used to
so-
agree with it more when I was like
True, yeah.
16. I
My
used to prefer
first-
Guinness.
My first beer was Stella, and I was like, disgusting.
That's because it's
I think
still.
my first.
Yeah, exactly.
I would do that now.
Yeah, I would still do it now. Nothing's changed.
I think the first alcoholic thing I ever had was Bulmers. You know, bloody cider.
Yeah, that's kind of. a simple one. It's like
Yeah.
it's sweet, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
tasty. You
It's
know
a-
what I mean?
I think I'd Copperberg.
It's a gateway drug. Pompous is a gateway drug.
I used to have.
It's an IPA.
I used to have Guinness, and do you know those lagers that were like zesty ones? Like
Oh,
they had
yeah.
Carlsberg's. They were called like
Carling
Carlsberg
Lime.
Zest. or
Carling
something.
Zest.
Yeah.
I love
They were
those.
mint. They were so good, and they were only like
quality,
2%. So as a kid, you could tan them, and you'd be
Josh
fine.
cannot contribute
I
to this
can't-
conversation.
Honestly, they were well nice.
Shall we
I
talk
might buy
about
some.
music?
Will you please talk about music? I really want to try.
But can we talk more about? Right, if anyone else remembers them, because I can't remember what they're called, please comment, because I want to buy some now.
Carling Zest, I'm sure they were called.
Right, we'll find out. Wait a minute.
So what album are we talking about today, guys?
Carlsberg Zest by
Fuck this, I'm on it.
by Jack
can't
Tyson.
get out.
It's my solo project.
It's Jack's album. So
This week we're going. Speaking of kid, we're going from an album from my misspent.
Alright. What? Where'd you get kid from this album?
Because that's what.
Alright,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
age you have
childhood.
Carlsberg Zest.
You get major nostalgia vibes now, right?
It's all in the same thing. Carlsberg Zest and Panic at the Disco's first album.
Here we go.
2005, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Not even the edgiest title in the album.
No, it's
No,
not.
It's not even the
It's not,
edgiest
actually.
title.
It really isn't.
I'll just read you a few of them out now because I have got some.
Welcome to Poetry Corner.
I've got
with
some
Jack.
written down
The
because
first-
on Spotify it doesn't even show what they all are. The only difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage. London beckons songs about money written by machines. Lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off.
Oh,
I constantly thank God for Esteban.
of course.
I was saying this to Noah when
Yes.
I was listening to this album, because this album's 2005,
Oh yeah.
and my God, you can tell just because of
Yeah.
those song
Yeah,
titles.
those song
alone.
titles.
Do you remember
mate,
Fall Out Boys as well?
Yeah.
So,
when I read the song titles on this album, I was like, that makes early My Chemical Romance look tame.
Pitiful. Yeah.
It's the same era. That's the thing. It's the same. They all came out at like
They
the same
had
scene.
like Honey, you know what they do to guys like us in prison. Oh, no, it's not that. Honey, this mirror isn't big enough for the two of us.
Well, there was the Fall Out Boy ones of This Ain't a Scene. It's
a little less candles.
It's
a
a
little
damn
more,
arms race. And
Yeah.
Other stuff like that.
It's
It's
just a
I
sort
don't know why it was a trend with pop punk bands at the time to have really, really
It was
long
a
songs.
I can already hear the
Like
record.
really, really long.
I can
song
already hear
titles.
the record labels, but that song's called Angel. No, that song is called.
The only difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage. Oh yes, that was the one.
That's the one right there.
That old doozy.
The
But
classic.
yeah, this album is fun from my youth, and it's just bare nostalgia, mate. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like it's not. I wouldn't be like top 10 albums of all time. Fever You Can't Sweat Out, but like I don't really listen to them much anymore. Like listen to Panic that much anymore.
Which surprises me.
I can't stand what they are now.
Because
What they have become. They're just so Disney, man.
They are.
Disney?
Why are they
I
so
actually-
fucking
Yeah.
Disney?
I agree with that.
Um,
Weirdly commercialized, like
Really?
Yeah, but like this album and this one, and to be fair, and Pretty Odd as well, but not really so much. Like filled my like
Childhood. Well, the secondary school kind of.
oh yeah, like I had this on CD and like I don't know like
Putting it on in my mum and dad's car. Yeah.
My dad really liked Panic as well. He showed me Panic.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know he's a emo in disguise because he showed me my chem as well.
You can just see your dad now, like, I'm dived in with the heaviest people ever heard of.
He fills in that, you know, with a bit where it's like, what does he say when he's like, at the start, he's like, with 3 words, he's like, I love you too. But it doesn't say it in the song, it's only in the music video. That's my dad.
That is
So
actually
I-
precious. That is precious.
That's it. I came into this album having basically known that song. I knew "Lying Is the Most Fun," but I didn't know the name of the song. I just knew.
See, there's so many good hooks, man.
See,
There's so many.
I knew those 2 songs, and that was about it. So when I put this album on, I was probably expecting it to sound a certain way, And you know what? It sounded exactly like I imagined.
the opposite of Weezer.
It was exactly what I knew it was going to sound like.
Yeah,
And to be fair, I enjoyed it because of that. There's a lot of fun.
It's just very fun. It's just very.
It is a lot of fun.
Because I was going into it like literally like this is the distance of the notes I wrote compared. You know what I mean? Like because there was nothing I could say about it really apart from I just enjoyed it. Like because I couldn't even dissect it musically because it feels like it'd be rude to do that because it's like it's never what pop punk's meant for really, you know, like to be like I'm gonna write this really killer riff, you know. It's like no, we're just gonna like hook you to you like.
Yeah. The only thing I would say towards that is like I know it came out of that pop punk scene, but like if you compare it to everything else that came out at the time, like the way I summed it up when I said I was going to review this album was like if you look at the best albums that came out in that time period. So like if you look at it like a tier system, like the Black Parade is probably like S tier.
Yeah.
I would put this in the tier below that.
A, yeah, you'd put it in A. Because I'd put Fall Out Boy in B.
I'd put Fall Out Boy.
I'd put Fall Out Boy in B. There's no way that Fall Out Boy get above Panic!
No, never.
No, I agree.
I would say My Chem, maybe like Green Day at the time.
Green Day at the time
and
was
then
on that level.
A was probably like
Yellow Card.
Panic, Yellow Card. Maybe like some 41 of that era as well.
Do we just get massive hate now?
Probably
Panic above Fall Out Boy.
Mate, I'm sorry, but like Infinity on High is great. But name me another Fall Out Boy album that's as good as Infinity on High. I'm still waiting. Still waiting. But like I don't know, I just think this album's just so different to everything else that came around. Like there's so many instrument choices that are dead cool. Like it is pop punk, and there are moments where like Camisado is just a pop punk song with an organ at the start, but it's fun and like I don't know. There's so many cool.
The vibe you get from
there's some heavier tunes like London Beckon Songs is quite heavy with that riff, and then Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks.
Again with the song title, you know what I mean? It's that 2005 feel.
I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm blinded by nostalgia though.
I want to say another thing that very much placed in the 2000s, and this is kind of a con on this album, is that I was listening to from the start, and I was like, it sounds like there's almost like a bit of shaking in his voice on some notes.
Really?
Got to about track 3 and I realised, that's what it is. It's a fuckload of autotune.
There's some songs.
Fuckload of autotune.
There's some songs where you can tell it's like deliberate. Like Nails for Breakfast is like it's like a deliberate.
I think there are sometimes it's definitely deliberate.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's noticeable when it's not deliberate.
That goes on to my point actually because of obviously had fun with it. Like literally, my pros were like nostalgia vibes. You can't not have fun with it because it is just all upbeat and just
it's all hooks.
And the way wait, is it Brandon or Brendan?
It's Brendan.
Brendan, yeah. The way Brendan delivers everything as well vocally, it's also because he's obviously a flawless vocalist, but it's almost never like serious, moody, it's just I dive in with the haven't you ever heard of?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is what I mean. But that's every track. There's no kind of mellow track where it's like so.
It does sort of run the risk of I think what a lot of emo bands, especially around that era, suffer from, where they all just kind of sound the same.
But I put that down to the type, like because when I was writing the cons down, I was thinking, I bet you if you had a conversation with Brendan when they had that project, because obviously if you think first album, probably the record label's got more of a latch on them than you think. I reckon, because if you look as well, all the tracks are between 3 and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no 2-minute track, there's no 4-minute track. But then, obviously it was popular for the time, so I think they got the record deal, and I think the manager said, right, this shit's hot right now, do it. Because you can tell through the progression of the other albums now. Because I'm a big fan of the Rubber albums, like, and I know you're not, but to me, I'm a little bit like, I don't think they were able to do exactly what they wanted to do, back then, what they're doing now. Because also, if you think about it, I'm sure Brendan doesn't like singing I Write Sins.
Well,
There's like
you've
videos
gotta remember
online
that
of
that's
him
not
being
his song as well. Like
Is it not?
he wasn't the songwriter when they did this. The guitarist was the main songwriter, but he only did the first 2 albums and then fucked off.
Right.
So he did this album when they were kind of a little bit of an edgier, I think I would say an edgier pop punk band at the time. Like, and then they did this, and then they did Pretty Odd, which is Has anyone heard anything of Pretty Odd?
No.
It's
I'm
a
not sorry,
mad
no. It's the one I've
hippie
missed.
album. The album's all flowers and like it's just
Is
all.
it got which one's got Mona Lisa on?
No, album after that.
okay.
But this has got 9 in the
2011.
afternoon on. You know.
9 in the afternoon.
Do. It's all like trumpets and stuff like that, and they all just got really stoned for a year, and then
That
dropped
was a
that.
really weird era of panic, wasn't it?
But then they did that, and then the guitarist and the bassist fucked off. So then it was just the 2 of them, and then they did the album with Mona Lisa on it, Vices and Virtues. Then the drummer went to rehab and quit, and then it's just been Brendan from like the
with
4th
session
album
musicians.
onwards.
Yeah.
But I just think you can massively tell when the guitarist isn't the songwriter anymore. I just don't think it's anywhere near as interesting. Like, I think the songs, like, on their own, are just quite cool for the time and the scene that they came out of.
But oddly, I feel like Brendan wouldn't be considered as kind of as good as he is now if it wasn't for that compositional change. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think they sound
Like-
so much more.
But I get what you're saying. Like Panic at the Disco used to be
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco, but Panic at the Disco is now actually just Brendan.
Yeah.
It is Brendan. You're going to see Brendan. You're not really going to see anyone else.
Because I
And
saw
you-
them.
And you're definitely not getting any kind of, you know, when new album Panic at the Disco, you know, when you're going in, you're not getting anything experimental or anything. You know, you're practically getting maybe some like ballads here, some kind of punk tunes here, if that. Because I'm trying to compare it. You know, I compared this to their other albums because the only ones I've listened to so far are The Death of a Bachelor and the one before that, which is the one with This Is Gospel, but I can't
Too
remember.
weird to live, too rare to die.
Yeah, and I rate those albums. I love them. Just I don't know. Maybe it's that kind of like because I hate pop usually or anything poppy sounding. That's just like the little thing what's crept through because. But I enjoyed that much more than I enjoyed this album, and I get what you're saying about the intricate, like more instrumental. But to me, this is like locked in its time period.
I
So
get
when you
that.
look at it now in
Yeah.
2021, it's a bit like.
I don't know. I don't see any other album they've done comes close to that one. I don't
Really?
know. I rate Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die, and I think that's the second best one. I mean, This Is Gospel, Vegas Lights, like, but they're just like.
I
don't know.
haven't heard the new one, to be fair.
It sucks.
I think,
Oh Jesus!
It's actually.
I think this album
awful.
is pure nostalgia, which is why I love it so much. Genuinely,
It does.
you know what? If I was actually to like look at this from a very objective point of view, I'd probably say it's a piece of shit and everything sounds the same. But every single song is just really catchy and it's really annoying, but I can't stop.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I really,
It is, this album is a time machine that just puts you straight in 2005.
it takes me to Satan's, honestly.
Yeah.
It takes me to Satan's.
I
and
like
Anything that takes you to Satan's is.
I can't fault it.
I don't know. I just have a lot of. I mean, I'll try and see if there's anything that I haven't remembered in my notes, but like I'm pretty sure.
Even like production wise, I think the production on it is probably like
I quite
one of my
like the
least
production.
favourite parts about it. And, like,
What do we think, actually? Just because it is the hail mark of the album, what do we think of the single "I Write Sins, Not Tragedy"?
It's a fucking classic.
It's a
It is-
banger.
it is a
thing. It's
classic.
I know that they don't like playing it
Yeah.
because have you seen that video? He's like, I fucking hate this song.
Yeah, he's like, fuck's sake.
But like, I think it's like, do you know how Creep for Radiohead is? Where it's a banger, but they're a bit like, we've written better songs than this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the difference is, I don't think they have written a lot of songs better than I Write Sins.
I don't know, like, I
don't know, it's just...
It is weird. I feel like that song, for whatever reason, took off. Like, I can't describe why it did, because...
Because there was
'Cause
a
it's
wedding,
catchy
and then
as
they
fuck.
all
It was a
broke
wedding,
in,
Karen!
and someone on stilts walked in, and then the bride was getting off for someone else.
and then she got called a slut or whore or whatever.
Green's Bride is a whore.
I drive it!
It's a banger.
It is.
It's just
It's
a banger.
For
And this
whatever
album has
reason, it
banger
works. And
after banger.
it does annoy me
It
that
just
it
does,
works,
yeah.
because I do prefer the later stuff.
In the words
to
of
this.
Todd Howard,
It just works. Yeah.
It just what it like you like you listen to the song and you listen to the video in your head. As soon as it comes in,
As soon as that string
you see
comes
him
in.
with the top hat about to go. Oh well, imagine.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, I don't know.
describe
I
it.
really like the ending track. I don't think gets anywhere near enough play as it should. Build God and then we'll talk.
it is nice. It
What
is
a
nice.
tune. And it ends so well with like the strings and the cellos with the dun 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 dun.
I know it-
dun, dun, dun,
I do know it's a bit
dun,
weird, but
dun.
strangely, I was very. I think I did write it down. Oddly enjoyed the intermission track.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, it comes
I
out
know.
of nowhere.
I would
That
like
was a
to-
really like creepy piano thing. I really liked that.
I would like to pinpoint to my notes where I said intermission is ass.
You don't like it?
When it starts off with that.
Really?
No, I don't really care. For it.
Spoke like a true drummer. Okay.
I don't know.
That's so weird.
I feel like it just feels like it's put in there to make the album 40 minutes.
Maybe.
I think I do get that argument,
Yeah.
to be fair. But I don't know. I think out of all the intermission tracks I've ever heard in my entire life,
It's
Not the worst
it's
one.
not
No,
the
I'll
worst
agree
one.
with that.
It's pretty tasty.
But I'd rather just have another song in there.
But I,
Yeah.
think, I feel like for like us three, maybe when you hear that intermission track, you're like, oh, a little bit of substance. What's not just pop?
Yeah,
pop rock. Nice.
that's exactly right.
It kind
songs
of-
are so good.
it
They're
kind
so
of
good.
it kind of like takes you out of immersion a little bit, but not to the point where you're completely out of it. It's like if you're at an actual theatre. And you know the halftime happens or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're not fully taken out of the fucking theatre, even though you kind
Yeah.
of are. You know what I mean?
I don't fully dislike it. I just because it's in between Camisado and Lying is the most fun a girl can have, and it's like I don't know, I think that's the only problem I have with this album is I think the flow is just so off. Like it's just like
I do
It
agree
is a
with
little
that.
bit like
a bit
yeah.
like weird.
You
but
could
like,
you could have probably released any of the tracks as a single, apart from intermission. Probably.
probably
Maybe.
any of them.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe not Thank God for Esteban.
Maybe not.
But I love that
Shall we give this thing a score then?
Yeah, I don't think I've
You can
got
go first
anything.
this way.
I don't think
I'll
I've
go
got
this way.
anything else to say
Yes, I
about
think
it
so.
really. I do think there are better because I actually have a soft spot for Panic at the Disco and I don't know why. It doesn't annoy me with the other albums, but it annoys me with this one. I'm like, why do I enjoy this? You know, snaps pen. But I feel like reviewing it in 2021, and obviously after I listened to it, I enjoyed it. But then I was like, well, what do you actually think of it? And I was a bit like, hey, well, nation, kind of, you know, like, Granted, I Write Sins comes on, and I'm, you know, if I'm driving my car and it comes on, you can damn well bet that I'm gonna be like winded down. I'm dying, you know what I mean? Because everyone,
Yeah.
you just,
I don't even think
You
it's the
have
best
to.
song on the album. That's the thing.
well, that but it's. I struggled to rate this one because I was like, well, I enjoy it, but to me, there's actually nothing. There's no actual meat on the bone, if you get me. You're just getting the bone, and it's like the bone is I Write Sins, Not Tragedies, a little bit. So I actually I was like, because I just was, I don't know what I'm doing with this album. I don't know how I feel towards it. I just felt 5.
Fair.
I felt 5, just
Wow.
5 out of 10. Like, it's there, it exists. It's not as bad as I Am Who. 5.
Sorry, Korean overlords. We do apologise.
Please don't sue us.
We do apologise. I think my stance on this album, again, if I was to like completely objectively look at this album, I probably would say it's a commercialised piece of shit. However,
But you reviewed K-pop last week.
I reviewed exactly. I have a soft spot for shit like this. I really do. Like, I just have a soft spot for like crap, and again, nostalgia vibes and everything tugging on it. Honestly, just for the pure fun of this album, I'm giving it a 7.
That's more than I thought
I
I was
think,
gonna
yeah,
get.
that's-
I'll take that.
I'm gonna take the middle between you two because I basically have the same thoughts. Like, obviously, this just takes you straight back to 2005, but it doesn't really do too much more than that. So I would have given it 5, but I Write Sins is on there, so it gets a 6.
6, yeah.
Cool.
Ooh, Jack.
See,
Jackie boy.
Here he is.
like,
He's gonna be like 10.
I get like the nostalgia, like tick. Like, I picks out some of the songs, right?
Yeah.
there's not any that just don't bang. They all bang. They all slap. There isn't a song that I'm like, I don't really care for you, really. Apart from Intermission, which isn't even an actual song. So, like, the other few albums we reviewed recently, there's always like, there's like one song I don't care for, a couple of tracks I don't care. I don't even have that with this album. And I'm supposed to be saying, like, oh, I'm only reviewing this positively for the nostalgia. So, like, the only thing that I don't really like about it is the flow. And I really enjoy it, so I'm giving it an 8.
An 8.
Takes us to 26 out of 40.
Exact
Just
same
the
Nothing's broke 30 today.
same score that we gave Wolf Alice
Really?
2 weeks ago, yeah?
Ooh.
Spicy.
Oh,
Very
that's
well done.
Make a
interesting.
scene, make a scene, make a scene.
That is
So,
interesting.
let us know what you think of this album. Give it a score out of 10 in the comments. Go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and go join our Discord server.
Please.
Go ask us questions.
Yeah.
We've
Do it.
been
Send
Antidote.
memes.
We've been Antidote to Chaos. Send us memes. We love memes.
I call it.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Oh, because this album's so much fun. But now they're so shit.
I think they're better now, you know, after
You
that.
think they're better now
Yeah.
than this?
Yeah. I wrote it down in my notes.
I
I wrote down
agree.
like I've got
Mate, that album sucks. They're not even a band anymore, it's just him.